Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Gateway to IT. In our last video, we created the ESXi one and created the rest of the networks. We added the network adapters in the ESXi one VM, as you can see here, the ESXi one VM that we created. I did not add the disk in the last video, so let me show you how you can add the disk. So all you need to do is to click on add, click on hard disk, so click on next. Click on make sure you have create new disk selected, then you can give the size that you need to give to the disk. You can store it in a single virtual file. You can then click on next, and once you click on finish, the new disk will be created. Because I've already added all the disks required, so I'm not going to add it again. So after we have created the disk, we already created assigned the network adapters to their appropriate network as per our plan. So I think it's now time to install the ESXi server operating system on these. So let's go ahead and install the ESXi on the first server that I've created. I've created the VMs in the same way as we created VM1, so don't be confused. All you need to do is to create the 4 ESXi servers that are going to be part of our ESXi cluster, and then you can start to install the ESXi software. So what I've done, I have clicked on edit, and I have already provided the ISO for the ESXi VMware install Visor. You can download it from the VMware site, the trial version of it. So once you provided the ISO, all you need to do is to click on power on. So once you click on power on, the installation starts. Let's wait for the screen to appear. So you see the installation has started. The installation is pretty straightforward, so don't be confused. All you need to do is to follow the prompts on the screen, and if you have configured the VMs appropriately, it will be done without any issues. So let's wait for the next screen to appear. So you can see that the version that we are installing right now is this VM kernel release build this, and the VMware version, the company name, and the amount of CPUs and the memory that we have given to this particular VM. So it's now loading successfully. Let's pause here for a moment. So as you can see that we are on the screen where it is asking us to click enter to continue the installation. So I hit on enter. Once I hit on enter, I need to select F11 on my keyboard to accept and continue. So once I hit on F11, it's scanning for the available devices. This may take a few seconds. So as you can see, right now we have the first disk, the OS disk of 150 GB selected. So since I intend to install it on the first disk itself, so I'm selecting the disk and hitting enter. I'm taking all the defaults, so US default. Here I need to give the root password that I'll be using to connect to this ESXi server. So let me provide the password. So once we provide and we get the confirmation that the passwords match, we can go ahead and hit enter again. So right now it is asking us to confirm the installation, and it's also giving us a warning that the disk will be repartitioned. So let's hit F11. So now the installation has initialized. Let's wait for here for a couple of moments before it prompts up for the next reboot. So as you can see, the installation has been done successfully. You can see the message we have got that the installation has been done successfully. Once we have received this message, it asks us to remove the installation media before we reboot the server. So let me just remove the ISO that we have connected, and once we've done that, we will reboot the machine. So we have disconnected the ISO, and now let's hit enter. So let's wait for the machine to come back. So it is now, it is because we have already removed the ISO. Now it will try to reboot from the OS installation disk. So it looks like it is able to boot from the disk on which we installed the ESXi Hypervisor. So let's wait it to come up with the option where we can configure it. So you can now see that it has come up with us to manage this host, and it's already got an IP address from the DHCP that we have configured on the pfSense firewall, but this is not the IP address that we're going to assign to this VM as per part of our plan. This ESXi server, because this is ESXi 4, the IP address that we intend to provide this one is .1.14, 192.168.1.14. So let me go ahead and uh, click on F2 to customize. You can see that it is now at a screen. Sorry, sorry again. So you can see that this is where it gives us an option. If we need to reboot, then we can hit on F12, but because now the OS is installed successfully, we need to click on F2 and then configure it uh, on the prompts. So let me hit F2, and now we need to provide the password that we have given at the time of installation. So now we can see that the configure password is set. We need to go to the configure management network. So once we hit that, we are given the screen for network adapter. You can see that the first NIC is selected, as we can see an X in it. It is connected. So this is the one that is going to be utilized for our management network on this ESXi servers and on the rest of the ESXi server. So I'm okay with this. I'm hitting cancel here. I don't need to make any changes. Now, because we do not have the LAN set up, so we don't need to worry about this VLAN optional. Let's hit the IP configuration. So because right now, as you can see, it actually got the IP address from the DHCP configuration set up on our pfSense firewall. We need to select the next option. To select it, we need to press the space bar. Once we hit the space bar, we can now go ahead and provide it the IP address. And as per our discussion, as per our plan, since it is ESXi 4, we need to provide the IP address 192.168.1.14. The subnet mask is good, and it is appropriately pointing towards the pfSense firewall for default gateway. So let's hit enter now. Since we do not have an IPv6 network, so we prefer to disable IPv6 on this. I make the selection by hitting the space bar and then hit enter. Once I've done that, I can go ahead and now configure the DNS. So again, we need to select the second option, hit a space bar, and now we need to provide the DNS servers. We can see that it has already got the correct DNS server name, the correct DNS server IP address from the DHCP server, and now I'm going to give it the host name that we have intended for this one. So we need to give it ESXi-4. Once we provide the host name, we can hit enter, and this is also done. Now we need to go and click on the custom DNS suffix so that we can provide As we can see that it has already got the custom DNS suffix. Some of the settings already populated because we have the DSCP scope configured on PFSense firewall from where it picked up the setting. But in case you do not have DSCP configured on your network, you need to provide the settings manually. So I see that our domain name is starkindustries.com, so we can just make sure that it is correct and click and hit on enter. Once we hit on enter, in order for these settings to take effect, we hit on escape. Once we hit on escape, it asks us to apply the changes. So hit yes to apply the changes, and now it is going to take another reboot for it to apply the setting. So this is how you configure the ESXi server once you have installed the hypervisor OS on it. For the rest of the ESXi server, like for ESXi 3 to 1, you need to follow the same step for the installation as for the initial configuration. And once you are done with initial configuration, we can proceed with the installation of the vCenter server. So let me know if you have any issue by providing your comments with the installation. If you have any queries, do let me know, and I will when I make my next video, you will see that I will have all the ESXi servers installed as per plan that I already shared in previous videos, and we will install the vCenter server operating system. If you like our work, please subscribe to our channel and do share it with your colleagues. Thank you.